think about you. Think about you. Think about you.
Hey there, friends. What's going on? It's Kodiak here. Happy Sunday. Welcome to another stream. We did it. Another week in the books. I'm on. I'm pumped. You guys have been crushing it on the Reddit. And we talked about this last time, right? Small but mighty crew. The Reddit's up to 33 members. Doesn't sound like much, but you know what? Every person that's in there counts because I have noticed an uptick in awesome things to talk about this week. So I am super pumped. Our goal for tonight is to get the subreddit to 40 and to get the second YouTube channel, Legacy Reacts, to 100 subs. That's the goal for tonight. And I think that's doable. I really do. I really feel like I'm asking like the bare minimum, which, I mean, like, come on, that's what we're doing this for, right? We're doing this to hang out on a Sunday night, talk about new stuff that's going on, to build up these other platforms. And hey, TikTok's not banned here in the US. I don't think. I don't know. It was banned. Now it's not banned. We've been doing a lot of stuff on our Shorts channel. Myself and Nas, we were kind of like, all right, well, what do we do now? Because we've only been investing in TikTok for the channel, and then, you know, all this nonsense, and like, quite honestly, it's just been crazy just trying to keep up with all the drama. But anyways, our TikTok's doing really good. We had 22,000 followers, something like that. Like, we had a couple bursts on the TikTok, which has been a ton of fun. But that's, you know, all of it's connected, right? It's all the pieces coming together. Obviously, we still have the main channel. Guys, I've got some pretty exciting news to talk about. I sat down for a remote preview play session for Assassin's Creed Shadows. So now it's the March 20th release date. We have a couple videos in the queue that'll drop when the embargo lifts. I think it's sometime this week. I don't really know off the top of my head, but got to play the game early, a nice vertical slice. That's all I can say for now. It was a great opportunity. Love working with the Ubisoft team on Assassin's Creed, which we've done a few times now with both Valhalla and Mirage. Wasn't making content before Valhalla and Mirage, so those are the two that obviously we played and enjoyed. You know, I made 100-something videos for Valhalla. I don't think we're going to get to that point with Shadows. I think that was very much a different Kodiak in a different frame of mind. I think we've learned a lot of things since then. But I am still excited to play Shadows. Assassin's Creed has been one of my favorite franchises forever. And yeah, more to come. So keep an eye out on the channel this week. I surely cannot remember the embargo date on the videos, but we've got a couple videos in the queue, just some general impressions, and then some other fun stuff as well. But tonight, as always, we are going to check out some trailers. I see that 30 of you guys are hanging out with me tonight. Really appreciate that, man. Like, you guys know I step out of my comfort zone to stream. Like, it's not something that comes naturally to me. I only stream once a week, so I do appreciate you guys hanging out with us. If the 30 of you are not members of the subreddit, I ask that you just subscribe, even if you're just a lurker, because as you'll see, we've got an awesome array of things to talk about tonight. Some new voices in here. I see Soverex in here. That's somebody new that I haven't seen before. We've got some really cool trailers to react to. Difficult Spare always coming in clutch, and then I think Sang's on here once or twice. Schmo's on here once or twice. But yeah, lots of cool stuff to react to tonight. And we have to start. Of course we have to start here. Why wouldn't we start here? With the Blood of Dawnwalker. If you guys did not catch the trailer that released this past week for Blood of Dawnwalker, this is a new game, dark fantasy, by the ex-director of The Witcher 3 and Cyberpunk 2077. There's a couple interviews floating around about this game too, but really the crux of it is they wanted to do something big, bold, and ambitious. They couldn't do that within CD Projekt Red, so they started their own studio, Rebel Wolves, and this is the game they're creating. So I have already seen this one, which is totally fine because I think there's still more to talk about here and more to talk about in an off-the-cuff kind of way. You know, for the video that was on the main channel, it was all scripted. You know, every word was perfect, the way that we always try and do our scripts. But to really do this one justice, I think I just kind of want to watch it down one more time, talk through it with you guys, get your opinions, because this could be a very cool game, right? It's got a lot of potential, already has a ton of buzz. I think the main trailer had over 1 million views in like a day, something like that. People are paying attention to this one. So let's check it out in case the few of you that are watching have not seen it. This is the Blood of Dawnwalker. Oh yeah, published by Bandai Namco. It's a big deal.
Must be here somewhere. This way!
right off the bat, it's got that dark fantasy vibe, right? You could just tell.
It's all right.
Lunka! Don't hurt her!
Hopeless situation.
You gave us quite the chase, young.
Please, sir. She's just a child.
A jerky guard or king,
Roderick,
whatever he is.
remind me, did I make an exception for children?
No, sire.
No. That would have been foolish, would it not? They spread the plague just as well as adults. And there's only one way to stamp out this sickness.
No!
Not just a runner, but a fighter, too. Had we met under a different moon, things might have ended different.
Here we go. Gosh, just so good right off the rip. Whew. Oh, gosh. That part got me. First time I watched this, that part really got me.
Lunka.
The teeth are also really freaky.
She needs help. Fast. Please, let us pass through. I beg of you. Please. Please.
You know she's getting like there's something more than just curing her, right? You got to know that.
How?
I am life. I am death. I am everything in between. I have been watching your little valley. Pestilence, famine, killing, blood spilled carelessly like water. Things will be different now. For all of you.
I like this line too. Thought it was very cool. A couple gameplay clips here. We'll talk about those too. And just a little bit of action. Not a ton. I think it's like 4 clips. Oh, that's a nice Vista shot. Oh man, so good. Yeah, I am really pumped about this one, guys. I think this game could be really huge. And right, we're getting a big gameplay reveal summer 2025. What's in the summer? Oh yeah, it's the game Summer Game Fest. I was going to say the Game Awards. That just happened. Summer Game Fest in the summer 2025. We know Bandai has worked with them in the past. I don't think, Bandai doesn't usually do their own event, so I don't think that we're going to see the Blood of Dawnwalker do its own thing. I think they're going to try and get as much attention on this game as humanly possible. The concern I have is, okay, they're showing this gameplay summer 2025. How close to a release date is that, right? We've seen other games that kind of shoot their shot a little too early, and then it's a 4 or 5, sometimes even longer period gap before we get to an actual game. The hype's died down. There's been many games that have gone through that kind of iteration. But new team, Rebel Wolves, developing the Blood of Dawnwalker, and I'm just super pumped for this game. I did a deep dive into their website, and they actually did a live stream blog type of thing. It was really cool. It was well produced. They're walking around this castle, all the different teams talking about all the different things that are coming to the game. What I really like is that the events of the game happen 2 years after this night in the church here. Brensis is the main vampire. Him and the rest of his brood are in charge now. And immediately when I started understanding this a little bit more, I started thinking about like almost Far Cry 5, where that's the one that was set in the North America, right? And all of the different children, I can't remember, Pope children, I can't remember what the name of the family was. But the lead guy was, the main guy, and then he had all of his like brothers and sisters where they each owned a part of the world. And I really feel like the team is going to try and tap into that system a little bit here, with each of the vampires kind of holding sway over a region of this world. We don't know how big the world's going to be, but, they made a really clear point of showcasing the different vampires under Brensis in this trailer. Each of them has a very different style, a different aesthetic. I think we're going to see them play a pretty big role in the full game. But the main character, Cohen, he is a Dawnwalker. Obviously, after the events of this, he gets cursed by Brensis. You see that when like his eyes change colors. He is now a Dawnwalker. He's a human by day and a vampire by night, and he's able to walk in both worlds. Why Brensis chose him to be a Dawnwalker, cursed him, don't know. But what we kind of learned is that the vampire holding sway over the world is a good and a bad thing. They've got, obviously, they're the main antagonists. There's no doubt about that, but they just rule differently. And I actually think that's a really interesting concept, right? Like, we think of these types of medieval fantasy games where, like, an evil king or queen is in charge, and it's kind of the same old tropes over and over again, right? You've got to kill guards that are, surrounding a castle. They've got something precious in the castle, blah, blah, blah. They set up roadblocks. They do all these things. Well, vampires change that dynamic immensely, right? They change that dynamic so much that, now they can weave in elements of dark magic and fantasy to a greater extent. And I think that's what we're going to see with this game. Ultimately, though, this game is going to get compared to The Witcher like no other. And so how does The Blood of Dawnwalker, 1, stand out? 2, how does it differentiate itself from The Witcher 3? Obviously, Geralt, Ciri are not vampires. They're Witchers. It's a very different type of protagonist. But, Cohen is going to be compared to those characters. This trailer doesn't do a good enough job of making me think that Cohen is anybody special. He just seems like kind of another, younger dude in a society that is going to test him, right? So it's going to be really interesting to see how they elevate his character. But the gameplay already looks pretty cool. Now, we just saw these 4 clips, but we've already got, like, right here, right? I'm going to bring it back just a second here, and we'll talk about it. So right here, we see Cohen on top of a roof. So I think Assassin's Creed, right? I think of a character that, can climb up the rooftops, parkour a ton, and there's that element of the game here. That is not something that was explored in The Witcher 3. Is the team going to go more that direction? That's really interesting. And then you've got kind of the opposite of him coming down that high elevation, which definitely cements in my head that, okay, this sense of verticality is going to be a thing. That's going to be a mechanical test for them, right? We all know, if we've anybody who's played a Ubisoft game, like, we all know that Assassin's Creed parkour systems, climbing systems are a little clunky. Can the Blood of Dawnwalker find a way to make that really smooth, right? When you think of a vampire, you think of superhuman abilities, right? Paranormal abilities. Can they somehow convey that through the actions and the movement of the character so that Cohen doesn't feel like he's a human climbing a wall, but he's a vampire climbing the wall? How's he going to do that? Is he going to be able to teleport to the top of buildings, things of that nature? It's going to be really interesting to see. We know how he's getting down, right? He's going to use his claws. He's going to, kind of just like fast fall off the building. Pretty cool. But and then one more clip. Here's some combat, which I thought was really interesting. He uses that teleport right there. You catch it really, really quick, right? Boom, teleport. Boom. Which I thought was really cool. Showcasing, again, he's got those vampire abilities because of that curse. And then we've got this really awesome scene right at the end with this construct. This kind of actually threw me for a loop, right? I had no idea where this comes from, because now I'm looking at a game like this and I'm thinking, oh, this is a a Souls game, right? This is an enemy you would expect to see in Elden Ring, Dark Souls, even Lies of P, right? This feels like a Lies of P enemy, and I just think it's really interesting. So this game is going to have a lot of eyeballs on it. You could tell it's going to be a big game, right? Like this shot kind of solidifies for me. It's a big game, but I caution that we don't get our expectations up, right? This is yes, it's got the director of The Witcher 3, former director of The Witcher 3 behind it, but it's still a new studio, right? And new studios, for the most part, don't often go toe-to-toe with games like The Witcher 3, right? So it's incredibly ambitious. But let's just set our expectations right, because the game itself might not be as big and as crazy as we think, right? Just looking at this vista, we see the main castle area, right? The main city. We see some stuff on the hilltops, like right here. I don't know if this is a church, cathedral, something like that. Honestly, not well defined in this shot right here. And then we see a lot of the valley itself. So if the world in the game itself is just this area, that actually feels a little bit more accurate for me for a new studio. I would consider them maybe a AA studio, right? Because they've got Bandai Namco backing, but they don't have a proven track record. I don't know how big their team is. Probably in the 50 to 100 range. You know, I wouldn't expect them to be Ubisoft level or EA level, or even, FromSoft level. So just all I'm saying, set our expectations accordingly. Let's wait until the gameplay reveal in summer 2025, most likely at the Summer Game Fest. This one could be special, right? It could. It's got a lot of potential just based on concept and pedigree, but we just don't know. So that's the Blood of Dawnwalker. I am pumped for it. Hope you guys are too. All right, that's the first game on the list tonight, guys. We got a big list of things to talk about tonight, and I'm pumped about that, right? Like, I am super excited that we have a ton of stuff to talk about, because that's the whole point of the Reddit. So there are 34 of you guys watching the stream right now. There are only 33 of you subscribed to the subreddit, and this is how it works. This is how easy it is for those of you that are joining us for the first time. Legacy Gaming, we've got our own subreddit. You can join. All we ask is that either you lurk or you post one trailer, one thing, one article, I don't care, a week. That's all it is. Super easy. And that's going to be the basis of the content that we're doing here on the stream, looking at new trailers, talking about new games, reacting to things, talking to you guys in the chat. It's quiet chat tonight. I see you guys. Photon, George, Lutheran. I see you guys. Daniel, welcome to the stream, man. Been subscribed for a while, but first time making it to stream. Well, thank you so much. Danny Passion, good to see you back. Daz, Dakota, good to see you again. Cohen's eye changing color is from mining silver poisoning, so he can't be 100% vampire. You know, it's interesting, Daz. I did read that somewhere, but it didn't click to me exactly what happened. Like, I didn't know if he cursed him and, like, the glowing eyes was the curse, or if that. I knew there was something with, like, mining silver, and I didn't understand exactly what the team was trying to do there, but that's cool. That's a good point to know. He's not a true vampire. So was Brensis trying to make him a full vampire? I think that might be the thing, but like he couldn't. Oh, I got you. He jumped back because of the silver. So Brensis wasn't suspecting that. He was trying to convert him into a full vampire, I guess. And now he's this Dawnwalker because he had a resistance to it. I don't know. Something like that. Yeah, Danny Passion, good to see you, man. Brian, I can admit I've never even been to Reddit. TikTok, Snapchat, never used, but I get my money's worth from my PC and PS5. You know, honest to God, I resisted TikTok for a really long time, but ever since we started posting our content there, I get it. It's a lot of fun. It's way better than anything else that's out there in terms of like the algorithm, like Instagram, Facebook. I haven't used for like 20 years, but Instagram. I use Reddit. Reddit's the one that I've used for the longest time. I've always enjoyed Reddit, especially because it's broken down into communities, right? And so we've got our own community here. So let's see if my little spiel did anything. It didn't do anything. Didn't move a single one of you. We'll get there, guys. It's going to be a long night. It's okay. All right, next on the list here, I do want to check out. This is from somebody new posting in the subreddit. Sovarek, I think is how you pronounce it. Well, thank you for posting this, man. I'm actually excited to look at this one. This is the official launch trailer for Hordes of Hell Jotunslayer, which I played back at Steam Next Fest. So, this is the official announcement trailer. Is this one old? It is a little old. Let's see if there's a new one out there. Because we've talked about this game before, and I know it just came out recently. Oh, I'm surprised they didn't release anything, man. That's kind of a bummer. I know I reacted to one of them, so we're not going to react to it again. But yeah, Jotun Slayer Hordes of Hell, definitely an interesting game. It is an arena bullet hell game. So if you like that and you like Norse mythology, you know, Loki, Thor, Hela, all those types of gods, they are in the game. And I really enjoyed the demo that I played. I didn't buy the full game, but I really enjoyed the demo. All right, this is, let's see. Game is coming out on the 20th. Can't wait to try it out. The 20th is tomorrow. This is called Yield, Fall of Rome, official gameplay showcase. Oh, Daedalic Entertainment. Good developer. I have no idea what this game is. I'm pumped about it. I always love games that are completely foreign to me. Reacting in real time is one thing that I wish I could do better. And that's why we do this stream. So let's check it out. This is Yield, Fall of Rome.
Yield Fall of Rome is a turn-based 4X strategy game with fast-paced tactical gameplay set in the time of the imminent fall of the Roman Empire. Take control of one of 8 distinct factions invading Roman lands, vying for power. Now
I
it's
like the
your
art style.
turn to write history.
like
Conquer
goofy.
provinces, expand your dominion, and immerse yourself in the drama of ancient Rome's final days. In Yield, every single turn counts. Make impactful decisions with every move. Warfare, economy, technological and political development. You shape each aspect with every step you take. Let us take a look at a round of Yield being played to find out how the game approaches 4X strategy
It's
with a
such an
unique
interesting
mix
art
of
style.
focused, impactful choices and strategic depth. Here we are in a skirmish match, playing as the Persians. Let's see what we can do before we found our first settlement. I could establish it here, but moving over there will give our settlement access to tiles that have sheep on them. Let's do that. Now it's time to unlock a fitting starting technology for our position. Animal husbandry will allow us to capitalize on those sheep.
Really clean interface for progression.
Here's what we can currently build in our settlement.
Not innovative,
We will
but
go
clean.
with pastures to increase our population and productivity.
Oh, that's cool.
Also, a
little
tavern to
sub-upgrade.
increase our income. And lastly, let's build a horse scout so we can continue exploring in the coming rounds. Now we are in turn 2. During the early game, our goals will be to establish a solid economy and to decide our playstyle for this match. Let's explore our surroundings. We are looking for a good spot to start our second settlement. Ah, more flocks of sheep right over there. Looks like we'll base our economy on wool then. Time to develop our technology further. Cloth making is the obvious choice for us. Let's build a wool mill right away. We are in turn 4 now, and we've just made first contact with an enemy faction. It's the Bulgars. Let's not hold back. Here's what we do. By building the royal banner, we upgrade our king unit and we attack immediately. Let's keep up the pressure by founding our second city right
Not
here,
really
close to their border.
exciting combat. Just kind
Thanks
of
to our
runs
early
over
game
it.
decisions, we can upgrade
roll
the
the
city
dice
right
type of
away
system.
and recruit some cavalry. Turn 6. Our goal for now is to build on our early successes and start scoring points towards match victory. Let's scout further into enemy terrain. Here's the enemy city already,
Wow, you're also really
and it
close
is
to the
not
enemy.
well defended. In the meantime, let's strengthen our economy by building another wool mill. Aha, and that just earned us our first point towards winning this match, called Crown by having the biggest population on the map. Now it's time to move further into unexplored territory, and would you look at that, a Roman settlement. In Yield, the Romans have at least one settlement in each scenario, and you
that's
can win
interesting.
matches both as their ally or as their enemy.
That's a unique aspect of the game.
Thanks to quick expansion and early military success, we are now in a good position to go on an all-out offensive against the Bulgars. Let's try to capture their city, Pliska, by attacking with our king and cavalry through the mountains for a defensive combat bonus. Meanwhile, behind the front line, I have moved a new settler unit up towards a good settling point. And just like that, we have 4 cities under our control in turn 9 of the game. That provides us with good income and, from our early building of the stables, we can field strong cavalry. Capturing Pliska has earned us our second crown towards winning the match. Let's keep up the momentum. Turn 10 and we are in a strong position. Over here we can see the green player, the Franks, expanding steadily towards us. But our relations are currently good, so we shouldn't be too worried. One of our units has entered Roman territory, giving us the chance to select a policy. We can choose to be either a barbarian culture, which makes us
I do
Rome's
like
enemy,
this aspect of the game. It's very interesting.
or to embrace Roman
that you
culture.
It's like an omnipresent
Let's be
factor in the
barbarians for
game.
this match. Over here, in the east of our territory, the King of the Bulgars is still roaming the lands. Looks like he was out exploring while we took his capital in a rush attack. Serves him right. Finishing him off will win us another crown. With the Bulgars defeated and our kingdom being a force to be reckoned with, let's stay aggressive and attack the Franks. That could be our way to securing match victory. Turn 13, and our war with the Franks has been going well. Our focus on cavalry has paid off. They just couldn't keep up with our quick-moving units. We are now standing at the gates of their capital. Up here in the north, we've also encountered the last enemy faction in this match, the Berbers. Looks like they have been fighting the Franks, while we took over the southern part of the map. Lucky for us. And here we have it. We already own one formerly Franconian city, and Avignon will yield to us in this turn. That gives us the 5th crown, and with that, we won the match in 14 turns, thanks to going all in on exploiting sheep as our primary resource and playing aggressively with cavalry right from the start. Whether you want to focus on the grand scheme of a campaign or on individual battles, Yield launches into early access with a variety of game modes and customization options for every taste, with even more to come. The game can be played as a relaxed single-player experience or in competitive multiplayer. There are campaigns as well as fully customizable skirmish modes, allowing for your own selection of win conditions and options to be made. In addition, each week a new time-limited campaign will be available to experience a fresh challenge or even
Kinda cool.
compete with others for
I like
high
that
score
system.
rankings. Yield Fall of Rome. It's your turn to write history.
Nice. It's a really interesting game, and I don't think I need to really beat this one home because, quite honestly, like 4X games are not my specialty. I only started playing them like a year and a half ago. I'm trying to remember what the first game was that got me into it. I played a couple of them. Endless Legends was really the one that I enjoyed. Played that with a couple guys that I met through video games and really enjoyed that. But what's interesting about Yield is that it's really taking the 4X strategy and trying to expedite it, right? Like it's trying to make it smaller, quicker, but also still feel as grand, which is an interesting concept, right? The thing about the 4X genre that is fascinating to me is like it is a very dedicated group of players that play these types of games. And so for this game to be coming out, and that one dude said it in the chat, coming out so close to Civ 7, like talk about bad timing, man. We talk about that all the time. Like these developers, especially the smaller ones, have to be like cognizant of the damn calendar. Like, okay, you're not releasing it the same week as Civ 7, so like you get a little, you get a couple points there, you got a little bit of time. But if somebody has the option to play this or Civ 7, what are they going to play? Of course they're going to play Civ 7. This to me is definitely cool in the sense that they're trying to be a little bit different, a little bit more accessible, right? You can tell by just like the art style and the simplicity of some of the systems that they're trying to make this a more accessible genre. Right? You look at a game like Civ, you look at a game like, Endless Legends I mentioned before. What's the other one? King. It's on the tip of my tongue. Crusader Kings, I think it is. Something like that. Crusader Kings, like those 4X games are so in-depth. They've got quick time events. They've got, economy sub-levels, like all sorts of really crazy things. When you look at a game like this, and they just walked through it in 5 minutes, right? He played this entire match in 5 minutes. Yes, they sped up some moments, but what they're trying to do here is make the genre more accessible. yeah, it's a completely different style for a 4X game. Sigma in the chat saying a Civ player's attention span is very different than, say, Far Cry. We're going to be holed up playing Civ 7 for weeks or months. Got to steer clear by like a quarter. Yeah, no, that's exactly it. That's exactly what I'm saying. It's like a game like this. Yeah, sure. It's trying to do a certain thing in the space that is often dominated by very long, stretched out rounds, right? Like I just remember Endless Legends trying to play around with our buddies and like never getting anywhere because it's like setting up a persistent board game. It's gonna last a long time. You know, what Yield Fall of Rome is trying to do is noble. Maybe it'll work, but yeah, you got to watch the calendar, man. You got to watch the calendar. How could they be doing this in even the vicinity of Civ 7? It's early access. That's cool, but like, I don't know, man. The early access tag for a 4X game, I don't know. I just don't know. Anyways, that's Yield Fall of Rome. And again, I appreciate Sovarek for putting this on the subreddit. So there you go. I have refreshed the subreddit page, and we've now got 34 members. So we are on our way to our 40-member goal. So if you are not part of the subreddit, I ask that you join today. That'd be awesome. We're trying to get to 40. It's not a big ask to get to 40. I might have to do some other things. I might have to make like a YouTube post. I might have to do like a TikTok. I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm going to have to get you guys on board here. All right, we got more things to talk about. I don't want to slow down because we got a lot more to talk about. Let's check out this. This is the next post from Sovarak. This looks like an article from GameSpot. PlayStation cancels, get out of here, Legacy Gaming. PlayStation cancels 2 games, including a live service, God of War. This is from GameSpot. Let's see what it's all about. Oh my gosh, so many ads. PlayStation has canceled 2 live service games, and one of them was reportedly based on the God of War universe. In a statement to Bloomberg, Sony confirms the cancellation of the 2 live service games, one from Bend Studio and another from Bluepoint Games. The one that Bluepoint Games was working on was reportedly a live service God of War. Sony also confirmed that while the studios won't be shutting down, it wouldn't confirm whether these cancellations will result in layoffs. That is a yes. However, Sony is working with the studios to determine their next projects. Last year, Bend Studios confirmed that it was working on a new IP, but it's unclear whether it's a now canceled project. Sony acquired Bluepoint Games, which worked on the PS5 exclusive Demon's Souls remake, that's how I know the name, back in 2021. The studio reportedly helped out with the God of War Ragnarok from 2020 to 2022, prior to the cancellation of its next project. PlayStation's live service initiatives have so far produced mixed results. While Helldivers 2 experienced massive success and won many awards, Concord was a monumental failure, ultimately culminating in its permanent shutdown and closure of developer Firewalk Studios. Sony also canceled the Last of Us multiplayer game in December 2023, months after Destiny developer Bungie, which Sony acquired, reportedly evaluated its ability to engage players in the long term. This doesn't surprise me, guys. This doesn't surprise me that a major company like PlayStation cancels live service games after seeing the absolute dumpster fire that was Concord, right? So many things were working against Concord, and a lot of chatter has been about Concord versus Marvel Rivals. Why did Marvel Rivals succeed where Concord failed, right? Well, one, the games are just vastly different, right? They're hero shooters. One is a third person, one is a first person. And truly, like, the characters in Concord just were not that interesting. There was no build up around them. They all looked bland. The abilities were, pulled from other IPs for the most part. And just like, hero shooters are in the past, right? There's a reason why there are no more hero shooters coming out every month. And it's because that wave of games has passed, just like it passed for Battle Royales, just like it passed for MMOs. And quite honestly, I would get cold feet too. Like if I was in, the head of PlayStation making those decisions, like, oh man, I don't know. I just think that the live service thing, you have to do it right. And even we talk about the evolution of games and just trends, right? One of the recent evolutions that I really enjoy is the fact that battle passes will never expire, right? That was a trend that started with Halo Infinite, it expanded into Helldivers 2, and then now it's expanding into Marvel Rivals. I think that's a really important step for live service games to take, because they're not really losing anything by doing that. Instead, they're giving players flexibility and helping kind of curtail that FOMO effect, right? Why a game like Concord failed is so multifaceted. It's not one-dimensional. There's a number of reasons why a game like Concord failed, and there's a number of reasons why a game like Marvel Rivals is succeeding. One, it's got really good gameplay. Two, it's got memorable characters in an established IP. We've wanted a game like this forever. It doesn't matter if it was a hero shooter, arena shooter, Street Fighter versus Marvel has been around forever. Like, people just like playing characters they know. And then on top of that, the game is not egregiously monetized, right? Yes, you can buy costumes. They cost $10, whatever. But like, you can also buy the entire battle pass for $10. You get a ton of currency just by playing the game. And these games are fun as heck. There's so many characters. There's so many different ways to play that, like, yeah, they got it right. PlayStation, Concord, they're not getting it right. They got it right with Helldivers, but Helldivers' live service aspect of the game, terrible. Absolutely terrible. Helldivers, in my mind, will go down as one of the best launches of the last 5. Maybe it may end up going down as one of the best launches of the last decade. But then its live service support of the game, its live service support has been terrible. The battle packs, or whatever the heck they're called, I forget what they're called, every month or whatever cadence they're on now, were just awful. Like, they made terrible decisions when it comes to buffing and nerfing. Okay, that's a critical step in the live service model. And then to release new weapons and ideas into the game, all gated behind money, all making them far more interesting than the things in the game, but in a way that's like not fun at all, right? Like, some of those weapons, you would unlock the final one after hours of grinding, and they'd be terrible. So, like, Helldivers 2 did not get it right either. They're getting it a little bit more right with the latest, expansion with the Illuminate coming back, but they still got a long way to go, and they're nowhere near where they were at their peak. Concord just never got off the starting blocks for a number of reasons. So this doesn't surprise me. But what does surprise me is that they were going to try and take a legendary IP like God of War and turn that into a live service game. Man, that would have been such a mistake. Such a mistake. And I am glad they are not doing that. Smart of them. And Bluepoint Games, who made Demon's Souls, like, okay, the Demon's Souls remake, they probably know what they're doing. I mean, from a remaster perspective. Do they know what they're doing from a true development perspective, where they can, do they know enough how to make a game from scratch, I guess is what I'm saying. So, interesting article about PlayStation. Definitely not sad that those games are gone. No way. All right, this next one is from Shmo. This is the first Berserker Kazan. I've seen this one kind of percolating around. I think there was a demo for this game a while back. Maybe it was Steam Next Fest. Maybe it was something else. I'm not entirely sure. But I know a few channels have made some videos on this one. I've kind of loosely kept my eye on this. Oh, the demo's available right now. This is from 3 days ago. There you go. Not a lot of traction on this. I mean, this is posted from the Xbox official channel, right? 5.54 million subscribers. It's only got almost 20,000 views. Not even 20,000 views. So let's figure out why this one's not getting as much buzz. I think that's almost going to be more interesting than the game itself. Let's check it out. All right. That's a quick and dirty video, man. It's almost it's almost too fast that you can't really catch all of it. I like what I see, right? It's got a really interesting stylized art style. And I think somewhere in the trailer, one of the things that said it's blending Souls with character action. And I think that's an interesting concept, right? If they're doing a Souls game, it's a Souls game. If they're doing character action, then it's an action game, right? It's almost the same kind of idea and thinking for Black Myth Wukong. Was Black Myth Wukong a Souls game or was it an action game? And I would argue it was more action game than Souls game, right? So Kazan definitely feels more like an action game just based on like its style and what I'm kind of seeing here. Yeah, it looks like a Souls game in some way, but it almost looks like it plays more like a Devil May Cry. So it's interesting. And like I have no problem with more Souls games. Understanding I see you're saying that people are probably sick of Souls games. Maybe. But I mean, if the right Souls game came out tomorrow, the masses would be there, right? Like Black Myth Wukong, the masses were there. When the Elden Ring Night Rain comes out, the crowds are going to be there. It has to be the right game to get people's attention. And I don't know, there's not enough here that's like enticing me. Like, yes, it's an interesting art style. It's a cool visual game, right? There's a lot of flashiness. There's a lot of pops of colors, even if it's like one particular color palette. But ultimately, I don't know. There's something about it that maybe I kind of get now why it's only got 19,000 views on the trailer. Like, there's nothing about it that's overly enticing to me. They might have to go a little bit deeper to entice somebody like me to actually want to play this game. And I know this is like their second or third foray into trying to get this game out there. It's a Nexon game, too, which I think is kind of interesting, right? Nexon has a pretty interesting catalog of games they've created. And I think DNIF is the studio. No idea who they are. So, like, there's a couple factors that are kind of, like, not going against it necessarily. But then it's got some really interesting, like, accolades here, right? Like, there's some decent quotes from companies that know games pretty well. But ultimately, you know, the game itself has to sell people, right? And if whatever reason for me right now watching it, I look at it and I go, yeah, it's cool. It's flashy. I don't know if there's anything that is necessarily enticing me to play because it plays and looks almost like an anime game, which is fine, but that's not the style of a Souls game that a lot of people like. I don't know what the audience is for an anime style Souls action game. Does Kazan even know what type of game it wants to be? All those questions, right? I'm not saying any one of them is definitive of like why the game is going to be successful or not. It's just a combination of those things. Those are the same questions I ask whenever I evaluate, you know, a game before it launches. All of the factors that I try and consider when looking at these games. It's interesting. I don't know. I don't think it's going to do that well. And actually, I'm really curious now if we head to SteamDB, and what is it, March 25th or something like that. I'm gonna guess it's pretty low on the list here. Let's see. This week. Okay, not bad. I mean, it's definitely not high, right? Like 23,000 followers is not good, but it's also not bad. Right? When you look at something like, let's see here. It's got more than Assassin's Creed Shadows. That's pretty interesting. Let's see here. Fragpunk. Okay, that's one that's coming out. That's got 65,000 followers. And then Monster Hunter Wilds. This is like the number one wishlisted game right now. 309,000 followers. So you look at the discrepancy between a Monster Hunter Wilds and Kazan, and it's big, right? There's a big gap there. And it goes to the argument of, how do these smaller games break through? Because sometimes these smaller games have amazing gameplay. But what are the other factors that help these games elevate and get to that next level, right? You look at any single week on here, and there's always a litany of games that is coming out. I mean, hundreds of games coming out. And most of them are nonsense, right? Like Neon Knives. What's Neon Knives? I don't know. Some crazy looking game that some kid made in his basement. Maybe. I'm sure there's passion behind it, but what's going to help this game stand out compared to a different game? What's going to help Kazan stand out? And I find that it's often that like AA indie game that's just a little bit below the surface that often has the biggest trouble breaking out of the shell. Because following a game does not equate to people playing a game, purchasing a game, and liking a game, right? So there's so many different factors to consider. I look at a game like this and I'm like, okay, maybe if it catches fire, maybe if there's enough there and, you know, the creators start making stuff and it gets a couple good reviews, maybe it gets a little bit of buzz, but I don't know. We'll have to wait and see on this one. All right, moving on to Death Howl. I am so excited about this one because it's being published by our friends at 11-Bit Studios. Love those guys over at 11-Bit. I have said that in pretty much every video that I've ever made involving 11-Bit. I appreciate 11-Bit's constant ability to try and innovate. And we've talked about this to death, not only in our videos, but also just like between myself and Livid. Innovation is such, innovation is the key right now. There's so much parity out there in the gaming world that anytime a game innovates, it feels like we're taking a massive leap forward. And I don't know what the last game was that truly felt like that. Helldivers 2 felt really innovative, right? Like it was the Helldivers concept, which was not new, but no other game did it like Helldivers 2. That was a massive leap forward in terms of innovation. Black Myth Wukong, I wouldn't say it was innovative because, right, there were a lot of systems that were very familiar to players, but what they did was reintroduce the concept of single-player storytelling, immersive storytelling, and just kind of that ceaseless, like, ability to keep us surprised, right? Like, that game never, for the most part, duplicated assets. Every single chapter felt incredibly unique. So, like, any of those experiences where a game takes you to a new place, a different place, and keeps you there, that's what, honestly, I'm looking for in a game, most often than not. Yes, systems have to be good. Totally get that. Yeah, the finals. Yep, I never played that one, Photon, but I know that a lot of folks really enjoyed it. I think that one had a lot of environmental destruction, if I remember correctly. I didn't play a lot of games like that. I still don't play a lot of games like that. But, yeah, innovation is just such a huge currency in the gaming space. So what I'm getting at is I love 11-Bit. They're constantly publishing or developing games that try and be innovative, right? The Alters, perfect example of a game that they're releasing this year that's trying to be innovative, trying to blend genres together. And they refuse to publish games, and I know this because I've talked to their lead, I forget what his exact title is, but I've talked to one of their lead guys before, and we've talked about innovation. So Death Howl is a game that they're publishing. It's a Souls-like deck builder, two things that I immensely enjoy. And now that I am a proud owner of a Steam Deck, I think about it from that lens, right? And I think about how can I play this game on a Steam Deck, which is kind of crazy, right? I know everybody doesn't have a Steam Deck, but like I really enjoy playing a lot of indie games in my bed late at night and just kind of letting myself fall into them. So I'm hoping that this game does that because, again, I trust 11-Bit to publish really great games. But let's see. Let's see what this one's all about. Man, that looks pretty dang good. Demo is available on January 20th. That's tomorrow. I am definitely going to check out the demo and do some sort of video on it because I really like the way this game is looking. it's interesting, right? It's not a deck builder in the way that you might think about it. But first and foremost, let's talk about the aesthetic. Man, what a cool looking game, right? It's got that 64-bit pixely like viewpoint. That's not the right word, style, but it's also got this like isometric small arena viewpoint, right? Which is kind of like Clear the Breach in a way. But then you've got all of these really dark thematic elements. Everything is incredibly dark in this game, and you could just tell by the enemy design, the world design, like very much a stylized game, which I love. I love when a game, again, is pushing outside of the norm, but trying to understand the systems in such a quick amount of time is a little hard. So we're going to have to kind of slow it down here. So let's see. We get into our first fight. We've got our cards on the bottom, and then those cards are directly influencing this character's ability. I don't think that we saw any instances where the abilities were affecting other characters, right? So what I'm saying is, like, I think it's just our main character fighting all of these crazy horrors in the woods here. So I'm trying to see, like, if I'm looking at everything. So there's some sort of currency in the top left, or resource, right? Rabbit Attack costs 2, Block of Wood costs 2, Furious Strike costs 4, Flige Power costs 1, I think. And then it's 4 damage to all enemies in one direction, 3 range, I think that is, and then discard 2 random. So that's really interesting. So let's see. She uses it, does the attack, and then we go right to the next one. Shattering Ground. 5 damage to all enemies in 2 directions, right? So forwards and backwards. You can see that kind of on the red chart here. Or the red, yeah, there you go. See the red like line that kind of permeates through? I like this. I do really like this. Very cool. Because it's more puzzle game than an action game, right? If you've ever played a game like this, Clear the Breach, you know, perfect example. It's a puzzle game and almost like a chess match, right? You're trying to think about how do you sequence your abilities to deal with the threat at hand. And if you've never played a small style game like this, I recommend checking out this demo because like what I'm seeing is really cool stuff. Triple Strike, 3 times 2x damage. Cool, totally get that. No idea what this means. That's a weird symbol. I have no idea what that means. And then let's see here. Bunch of cards here. Yeah, I mean, not bad. Like, I don't know what Flige and what this symbol +2 is. +1, discard 1, get that. Sacrifice 1 defense, maybe? So yeah, it's going to take a minute to really figure out like how the game structures, but hopefully, you know, they're going to ease you into that, right? And then as the cards change here, yeah, we got some really dark ones here, like Rotten Flesh, super dark. Contaminate, pretty dark. Sting is even a little dark. And then Boiling Blood. But we have to figure out what all these things mean. Ignore something. Exhaust. Okay, we've seen that in things like Slay the Spire. Means we can't use it anymore during that entire round, right? Exhausting a card means it's gone. It's not in your discard pile, it's gone. I assume that carries true with this game. Sacrifice something. This symbol again. Fill. This looks like the resource. That's cool. I think that's this resource here. But yeah, we're going to have to figure this all out. Looks like some empowerment there. Now using the ability. This, I want to know what this is. Like if there's some element of like alchemy or even like whatever this is, witchcraft, whatever the heck this is, I think it's really cool. And then we've got some of the roguelike elements, right? With the power of damage, overwhelm, 3 different tiers of that, fill up by playing cards. I think this is definitely part of the roguelike element of it. And then we've got the more thematic stuff. Super dark, super gritty. Crazy lung thing. Dying whale. And then that's the game. So yeah, this is called Death Howl for those of you who are joining us late. No idea what this is, but this looks like a giant mushroom boss, which I thought was really cool. Very similar to Clear the Breach, where you get to choose your starting position to be most strategic, which I think is really fun too. And then just a couple more action shots. And again, I'm seeing a lot of really interesting enemies, really cool things. And then we get Death Howl, the title screen here. So again, Death Howl, the demo is going to be available on January 20th. I will be checking it out. I can commit to you now. I'm going to do some sort of video on this because it's definitely a game that has piqued my interest. And there's not a whole lot going on right now as we get ready for kind of the wave of games coming in February. So perfect time to play a demo. There you go. All right. What is next? Well, you know what's next? Taking a sip of my drink because I've been talking for an hour straight. I hope you guys are having a fantastic Sunday. Thanks for spending just a little bit of time with me tonight. My phone is getting blown up by my wife, so I have to answer this quickly. All right. All right, we're back. Sorry, guys. Yeah, I hope the week's going good for us here in the States. We've got tomorrow off, so hopefully you're off tomorrow if you're here in the States, and we can relax and recharge one more day, and then we'll get back to it. Rage 2? Dude, that's an old school game, isn't it? Are we thinking about the same Rage? Rage 2. Yeah, this one. Oh, man. This was on my list for a while. That's not new. What are you talking about? It's a 2019 game. It's not new at all. But yeah, I remember when this one came out. It's wild. I remember this, like, we were so excited about this game, and then it ended up being, like, kind of meh. That's really funny. All right, next on the list is Forest Rains. Schmo posted this one. I have no idea what this one is about, and I am very excited to watch this down because when I look at a thumbnail, I can usually tell pretty early on if I'm going to like a game or not, or at least be interested enough in the game. And so this is Forest Rains, the official cinematic reveal, so don't expect any gameplay. And let's just kind of experience this one together. Minute and a half. Cinematics only. So let's not expect any gameplay. And let's just see what they were cooking up here. Here we go. VG Entertainment. I don't know the studio. Oh, it's the Eiffel Tower, I think. Is it?
Un jour la paix viendra, un jour tu m'en lasseras.
Oh, it's definitely French.
Fini la mort, fini les torts, la vie alentour sera.
Nope, that didn't work. Oh, dang. Oh. Oh, don't tell me that's the whole thing. Oh, that's the whole thing? Oh, dude, that's brutal. That's brutal because we know literally nothing about this game from that. These cinematic trailers. There's a gameplay trailer. Oh, we got to look at gameplay. Come on. Oh, thank goodness. Okay. All right, hold on. Part 2 of the same reaction. Gameplay video. We got to look at gameplay. That was I love cinematic trailers, but I don't love cinematic trailers that don't reveal anything about a game. All right, here is the gameplay trailer. Good looks, George. Oh, okay. All right. First person. Ooh. What a really unique art style. I really like it. Nice. That's cool. Reactive environments. Like that. What? Oh. Huh.
Demain on se partagera. Demain on le vivra.
Dang. We went from me not being that interested to me being absolutely on this one very quickly. Dang, that's really cool. That's really cool. And we talk about innovation, right? We talk about games that are trying to do something different. This whole idea of like a sentient forest that's hostile is really cool, right? It's in a different location than not that Paris has not been explored, but like there's not a lot of games that are based in Paris. So like just that as a setting is pretty cool. But a modern Paris with like a paranormal twist to it, right? Art style is gorgeous. I really like it. It's almost like stylized realism, but there's this layer of fantasy to it that I can't put my finger on. But then you get to like this night scene and like it feels like how a modern BioShock game would kind of naturally evolve, right? You think of games like Judas and like if they did make another BioShock game, like which direction they could go. Yeah. Lexicon, it looks like a Dishonored art style a little bit, like if Dishonored was made today. I really like it. I like this concept of a reactive world that is giving you new opportunities for combat. You know, obviously we're seeing two of the tricks here, right? With the reflective walls and then the kind of the pustules that explode. How many tricks there are is going to matter, right? Because if we're doing the same thing 500 times throughout a game like this, it's going to get really boring. The key, and a lot of games get this right and a lot of games get this wrong, the key is to kind of introduce those concepts intentionally at certain points in the game, right? Keep introducing new things to us at a steady clip so that you always feel like you're expanding your arsenal. You're getting a little bit stronger in the world at certain beats in the game, not necessarily all at once, right? Dang, now I'm super pumped for this one because that cinematic trailer did not do it for me. Like a cinematic trailer, for the most part, is like, okay, should I follow this game or not? And like, yeah, I like the concept based on the cinematic trailer, but like, all we learned was that a guy shoots a boar, the boar doesn't die, and then the forest kind of reacts to that. It's not enough to entice somebody, so I am really glad they got some gameplay out there. First-person shooter, obviously, looks like there's some deep customization with the weapon, right? They made a point of talking about that in this first gameplay reveal, showcasing some different skins, attachments on the weapons themselves. What's interesting is we didn't see any narrative elements, right? And that's, I think, a huge part of these types of games too. Like the action is cool, but are there narrative elements that help drive it forward, right? Are there story elements that help drive these types of games forward? That is a factor in an immersive sim, right? This almost looks like an immersive sim single player game, right? Again, we mentioned Dishonored. That is an immersive sim. But it's an immersive sim that's largely built on a really solid concept of a story. The story itself, you know, take it or leave it, but like the concept is really cool. What they're kind of showing us here is the concept for the gameplay and the things that they want players to, you know, experience in the game world. They're not showing us how they're going to be rooted in the game world, right? What's going to attach them to the game world? Hence the immersion part of it, right? Immersive gameplay is good, but you also need an immersive game, and that often hinges on story, characters, and then all of the systems in the gameplay. So I really like what I'm seeing from a gameplay perspective. Where else are we going? Where else are we going with this game? What else are we going to learn about this game? And yeah, it's a wish list now type of thing. Let's see if we can actually go to Steam and see. Let's see what Forest Reigns. Let's see here if we can learn anything else. So we've seen all these screenshots. Nothing new there. Release date to be announced. Welcome to the Forest Reigns, a survival FPS with RPG elements set in a post-apocalyptic Paris overwhelmed by an evolving forest. It isn't just part of the environment, it is a conscious entity with its own desires and intentions. Interact with it to reveal its mysteries, use it for defeating enemies, or face its wrath as it reacts to your choices. Uncover dark secrets, immerse yourself in a non-linear story with dozens of missions, cooperate or compete with a unique in-game faction. That's interesting. Every decision influences the story's final outcome. Cool. Good stuff there. Master FPS combat. Experience intense gunplay with realistic weapon handling and tons of customizable gear. Cool. That one doesn't speak to me, but I get it. They showcased that one. Resources are scarce and danger is constant. Craft, scavenge, and plan ahead. Love that. And explore reimagined Paris. So discover Paris transformed by nature's fury. See iconic landmarks reshaped by the green apocalypse. Blah, 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 blah. Shoot, loot, and adapt as you fight to stay alive in a thrilling new adventure. Yeah, I really like this, guys. I think this one's got some legs. Let's keep an eye on Forest Reigns. I don't know this company at all. Looks like it's their first game being developed and published by them. That is a massive undertaking, as we know, but it looks really good. And I think one of you in the chat here said this is by the devs of Stalker Shadow of Chernobyl, which is a fantastic game. So definitely have some experience there too, right? Really cool stuff. Glad somebody posted that one on the official subreddit. And hey, guys, we're up to 35. I have no idea how many people are watching the stream, but if you are not part of the official Legacy Gaming subreddit, we are trying to get to 40 tonight. I know, small number compared to some, but we're doing our best here. So if you are not a member of the Legacy Gaming subreddit and you want to help us out by posting a trailer, an article once a week, gives me some stuff to react to, right? We've still got a couple other things to talk about tonight. Code Violet, Black State, and Chernobyl Light 2. So we're going to do that in just a second, but I need to take it just a tiny break to breathe. I don't think you guys understand, and like I have not been streaming nearly as long as some actual streamers, but talking constantly is a lot of work. And I do have to admit, right before I hopped on stream, I was recording a video for the Assassin's Creed Shadows preview event that I was a part of, that I mentioned at the beginning. So, and that was a 20-minute read. 20-minute read. It's not a 20-minute script, but as I do like my reads, I mess up a bunch, right? So like I'll read a line over and over again. It ends up being longer than I want it to be. But yeah, let's all follow what Photon's saying. Photon, appreciate the love, man. Let's get this up to 40 if we can. That would be awesome. But it's okay. There's always next week. If we don't get it to 40 tonight, we'll get it to 40 another time. Michael Prince, 1954. What's going on, man? Welcome to the stream. We've been checking out some fun new trailers tonight. We got some cool stuff coming, too. Lots more goodness. All right, let's check out this one. This is by our boy Sean John 404. Code Violet. Let's read the little synopsis here. Code Violet, a new third-person action horror game. Team Kill Media, the developers behind Quantum Error, don't know that one, have announced their latest project, Code Violet. Violet. I kept saying violent. Violet. Set to launch in July 2025 for the PS5. Third-person action horror introduces players to a gripping narrative filled with suspense and danger. I'm not reading all of this. That's a lot to read. Let's watch a trailer instead. 2 minutes, 37 seconds. All right. Posted on the official PlayStation channel. It's got almost 200,000 views. I know nothing about this game. And I can barely say the title. Code Violet. Not violent. Here we go.
Evacuation protocol is in effect. Please, everyone.
This already feels like a PlayStation game. I was not expecting dinosaurs. Huh. space or is it not space?
When the hour breaks, the cradle will fall.
Oh, now it's an alien game.
And down will come, baby. Cradle and all.
Without context, all that awaits you is confusion and hurt. You're making a grave mistake.
All this time, we've been lying to everyone? What are we actually doing?
What do you mean, creatures?
No, this can't be real.
Do you remember yet?
So many lives have been lost that just didn't need to. And most of them innocent. No one deserved any of this.
We did everything for you. We were a family.
Huh? This game does absolutely nothing for me. Does absolutely nothing for me. This is a classic PlayStation game that they either develop or publish where they think it is so different and weird and quirky. And like, I don't know if they're trying to get the next Death Stranding or whatever, but like, this does not click for me, and I don't think it's going to click with a lot of people. What is this game trying to be? Like, this was a 2.5 minute showcase of a game, and I learned absolutely nothing about it. I learned that there's some chick with purple hair, there's dinosaurs, there's alien eggs, they're trying to be scary with like the baby crying and the lady singing Rockabye Baby in the background. Like, this type of weird shit is not successful 9 times out of 10. It's just not. Because it's not funny horror, right? Like Five Nights at Freddy or Zoopocalypse or whatever the heck that game was. It's weird. It's just weird. I hate trailers like this. I really do. I really do hate trailers like this. And like, again, you got to remember, I'm a marketing guy. I've been marketing for like 15 years of my life at this point for big companies, not gaming companies, but big companies. And like, how do you sit together with a bunch of creatives and say, okay, we're going to put this trailer together, and it's going to be all these weird, disparate moments from this game. None of it's going to make sense, and it's going to entice people to keep following this game. Not a single thing in here convinced me that I should pay attention to this game after we're done reacting to this trailer. And that's a damn shame, right? Like, we talk about games that, you know, indie games or AA games that struggle to break through. Like, you have the backing of PlayStation. PlayStation is putting money behind this game to help promote this game, their brand, you know? And this is the type of game they're putting out there. Like, this is like one of those weird early 2000s games that like you would buy in like a bargain bin at a Walmart. And like, I know that's harsh, guys. Like, I get it, but nothing that I saw convinced me to play this game. The animations were weird. The concept is weird. Nothing about this seemed exciting. I'm going to linger right here on the screen because I don't even want to watch it again because it was so weird. I don't get things like this. I really don't. If you're going to showcase your game, at least showcase it. Show some gameplay so at least we have something to latch onto. Because if you're just trying to be like, if you're trying to be so cerebral that like art as a game, like we're venturing into art as a game territory, or games as an art, I should say. Games as an art territory. Like, is this trying to be art or is this trying to be a game? And like, I don't think PlayStation buys into the whole games as an art thing. I think they think games are games and games make them money. Weird. Just weird. Very confusing. All right, Code Violet. That's it. It's a game. It's coming out in July 2025. I will not be playing that in July 2025, but maybe you will. All right, I saw a couple people post this. Black State from CES, of all places, the Consumer Electronics Showcase, I think is what CES stands for. I don't know of any game that has ever revealed at CES. I thought this was really interesting. Why a game would showcase at a consumer electronics conference is beyond me. But here we are. So we're going to check it out because it got a lot of buzz this week. Here we go. Okay, we got some running in a mansion. So far, that's all we've got. Look at those reflections. Those are nice reflections.
Look out! Oh, shit! Take cover!
All right. Okay. What? Interesting. Oh. Oh. Okay. Here we go.
This will be the final chapter. Pathetic liar.
I mean, yeah, it looks really cool. But is this a real game? Or is this a pretend game?
Keep firing. It's only a waste of ammo.
Interesting.
You think I need them for power? Oh, how amusing.
Little snap to cover action. Oh, dismemberment. Wasn't expecting that. I like the donut attack. Like, those straight up look like donuts. So weird. Horn. The boss's name is Horn. Oh man, this is just kind of lame. Like, it looks nice. Oh, there we go. We got a different weapon here. It's like a railgun, electric gun type of thing. I mean, visually stunning, right? Visually, lots of cool things. You look at the reflections. You look at some of the geometry. It's really nice. Gameplay-wise, like, okay. Interesting. Interesting. All right, Black State. There is this IGN video down there, which looks like it would. It said Max Payne meets Inception. I don't know. It looks okay. It looks okay. These types of games, these third-person action games, I feel like, you know, we talk about games kind of being past their prime from a genre perspective, right? I'm not saying a new Max Payne wouldn't do great. I think a new Max Payne would do phenomenally well. But a game that's kind of dancing in that space has to do something really special to break through, right? How many third-person action games, either milsim or, slightly based in fantasy, whether it's dark fantasy or high fantasy, like, have we seen over the last 2 decades? A ton, like a metric ton. There's definitely some weird elements to this game, right? Like the door right there opening to different parts of the mansion is kind of cool. But like gameplay-wise, it's really hard to see the depth here. He uses pretty much the same automatic weapon the entire time. The boss fight is a little one note, right? Kill the orbs, attack the boss. He's got 3 mechanics. He can summon dudes. He does a pulse, and he does the donut attack. I don't know. It's hard to tell from a gameplay trailer like this. I would definitely want to go watch that preview video before I make any sort of real judgment on it. I think the bottom line is it looks stunning. I see one of you guys in the chat said this was how NVIDIA was showing off their new capture cards. I get that, right? Like, look at those damn reflections. Look at those floors. Incredible. Lighting is also very good. The character model, not great. Hair doesn't move. Like, there's definitely some things about the character that I don't love, but, that's more of a developer thing. It has nothing to do with the card, right, or the quality of the graphics. Like, they needed to develop better characters. They needed to design better-looking characters. He looks good, don't get me wrong. It's just not, it didn't blow me away. I was surprised for the dismemberment. That's not something a lot of teams do nowadays, but it definitely, I think, sells some folks on these types of games. And then the action itself is he'll spend the next, 15 seconds here shooting Horn with his automatic rifle. So look, this is just a taste of the game, right? It's just one entry into what I think will be seeing a lot of Black State over the next year or so. I think this game is one that will show up at Summer Game Fest. If it's not released by the fall, I think it's a game that we'll see a few times throughout the year. CES is still a very interesting place to reveal a game like this, but the studio, I didn't know their name. I'm going to back it all the way up to the beginning really quick. Motion Blur. Never heard of them. Let's see if we can find a Steam page for them. Black State. All right, so they've got a Steam page. That's good. Motion Blur. Nothing else. So new project from them. Self-developed, self-published. And let's see what the... Oh, they got like a nice little write-up here. All right, about the game. A secret group of scientists called the Architects summon you for a mysterious mission. Save the captives and uncover the truth behind a cataclysmic event. But none of you know what's behind the door. Are you ready to open them? Black State opens a new door in the single-player, story-driven action-adventure TPS genre, offering a photorealistic action experience with countless elements of surprise that gamers have been demanding for so long. Have we been demanding that for so long? Maybe. Maybe a little bit. Engaging storyline. The story of Black State is rich, mysterious, and emotional. Dive into a narrative filled with deep, engaging characters and unexpected twists. As you explore the game, you'll uncover hidden secrets and experience an emotional journey that captivates you from start to finish. I'm not going to lie. That's a lot of buzzwords, and it almost sounds like an AI wrote that. I'm just throwing it out there. I'm not saying an AI is behind this game. I'm not saying it's a scam. I'm not saying it's the last, the next big gaming scam. I'm just saying it's a little markety buzzword. And again, I know that. I know that space really well. Real-time door mechanics. Experience the groundbreaking feature that allows players to transition seamlessly between levels without the interruption of loading screens. Watch as doors open to unexpected and diverse locations, creating a dynamic and non-repetitive gameplay experience. These real-time transitions lead to different adventures, ensuring players never know which door opens to where, adding an element of thrill and danger to every step of the journey. If desired, players can also return through the same door, offering flexibility and control over their exploration. That's cool. I like that. I think in this clip here, we kind of see the hallway. I think that's probably masking the loading aspect of the game, right? You're in an area here where he's standing. You walk through the hallway. That's the transition. It's happening in the background. You go through the doors, and boom, that whole next area is loaded up. I really like that. Photorealistic graphics and optimization. We don't need to really break that down any further. Weapons and tactical gadgets. Black State offers an extensive array of weapons and tactical gadgets to navigate intense combat scenarios and stealth sequences. Interesting. Players will handle a variety of guns, including pistols, rifles, shotguns, and unique explosive devices. Master various tactical gadgets to gain the upper hand in battle. Okay. Again, little buzzwordy. Pretty much didn't learn anything other than there's some stealth gameplay. That's cool. Guns and tactical gadgets, there's the words again, won't always save you from the diverse enemies with unique skills. You'll face elite human tactical forces and relentless robo-sapiens, brutal killing machines designed for destruction. You can't just wait in cover. If they sense your presence, they can call for reinforcements. To survive, you must unleash one of over 100 brutal cinematic kill moves. Precision and cunning are your keys to overcoming these dangerous enemies. It's kind of interesting. There's something there, right? Boss fights. You'll face numerous boss fights, each with different unique patterns and mechanics. These challenging encounters require quick adaptation and strategic thinking. Learn their attack patterns, exploit weaknesses, and use your full arsenal to defeat them. All right, I wouldn't say they were that Horn boss fight, who they're showing here, was not super well designed. It was pretty basic, but yeah, they have a Steam page. Black State, release date to be announced. Nothing else really about this, but I think there's some interesting nuggets there. A lot of buzzwords. There's a couple other clips here. It looks like, I mean, they're really leaning into this door thing, and I think this door, like, I wonder if each of these zones is like its own mini mission, right? I don't know how it all ties together. Who is this guy? But like every door that's opened is leading to a very different type of world, right? So you've got this like oil freighter, then you've got this like cargo yard, some combat, explosions. Then you're in like a museum with a boardroom. Then you're in like a pharmacy, medical facility, and then the doors again. I don't know. This one could be cool, I guess. Let's keep an eye on that one. Because I don't know where it's going, but you know, it could end up being pretty cool. All right, last one on the list tonight, guys, is Chernobyl Light 2 Exclusion Zone. Once again, I appreciate you guys for posting this stuff. This is from Difficult Spare 3935. Just enough content this week. I think that was like 7 or 8 things. It's perfect. That's exactly the amount of content we want to kind of look at every week. This is my last-ditch effort. I have no idea how many of you guys are still watching, but if you are not subscribed to the Legacy Gaming subreddit, please do so. All we ask is that you hang out with us. You can lurk, but also if you want to post something, the whole point is that I'm not terminally online. I'm not. I don't catch everything. I didn't catch any of these trailers this week other than which one did I catch? Blood of Dawnwalker. I saw Blood of Dawnwalker, but all this other stuff I did not see. So if you're not part of the Legacy Gaming subreddit, I'd love for you to join. Post one video, one article a week. Not a big ask. And then we have some stuff to talk about. And I give you credit. It's not like I'm saying that I found these things. You guys found this stuff. And you brought it to me. So appreciate you guys for helping out. Thank you, Difficult Spare, for this one. And, of course, the rest of you guys for all the other content tonight. So this is Chernobyl Light 2 Exclusion Zone. I know Chernobyl Light is not like an old game. I feel like Chernobyl Light came out like not that long ago. So I'm surprised that the second one is already coming out. Also, why is it only 720p? That doesn't seem right. Is that right? Hold on. Let's see if we can find a better trailer here. All right, let's see if here it is. Here's the launch trailer. Why is that only in 7? There we go. That's better. Like, what is going on here? Yeah, that's way better. All right, here we go.
Chernobyl Light 2 is an RPG set in the post-apocalyptic open world of Chernobyl wastelands. Dive into an immersive story where every action and every choice has a meaningful consequence.
Take it easy, man.
Huh.
Decide how you want to play. Who do you want to be? A close combat fighter? A sharpshooter with a keen eye? Maybe a Chernomancer with tech skills and intelligence, or a silent assassin using shadows to pass enemies by. Try different builds anytime you want. Create them in alternative realities and switch on the fly.
What?
Explore a fully open world. Travel freely across the vast, dangerous areas. Manage your companions wisely. Develop your base to cope with all adversities. You'll need every resource to complete your quest. The Zone awaits you.
All right. There was some cool stuff there. There was actually some cool stuff there. I don't know the first game at all. But what I picked up from this game is obviously it's set in the Chernobyl area in an alternate reality, I think they said. Clearly, there's some crazy stuff going on because there's like magic spells in this game. So you've got post-apocalyptic with a fantasy twist. I think it's third person and maybe first person, but like there's narrative elements. There's very clearly like scavenging elements and survival elements. But then you've got this deep RPG system as well, right? Like you saw the stat sheet a second ago. Look at all of those different things that you have to kind of factor in, right? Your attributes are pretty standard: strength, psyche, perception, intellect, survivability, and cunning. But then you've got all those secondary stats, primary stats. Really interesting. Okay, well, George, we're going to check out the Kickstarter in a second here. We'll see what's on the page. Some of the combat looked a little janky, but like then you get to some of these weapons here. I think this is where they're talking about the Technomancer, and like I'm all in on that concept. Like I don't need another Chernobyl game. I don't need another post-apocalyptic stalker type game. Give me something different. We talk about this time and time again. Innovation, innovation, innovation. Give me something new. This is cool. I like this. This is where they kind of lost me, like the crazy fantasy magic stuff. But I'm cool with it. I'm definitely cool with it. All right, what do we have here? So vitals. We've got mind, bloodstream, heart, nervous system, and skin. So all of the different things that can, I guess, affect us as a player. And things we have to maintain. Oh, and muscles down there at the bottom. And then we've got consumable items in the top left. So that's kind of cool. Survival elements there. Being able to shift your character on the fly like that is awesome. I love that. So cool. Really neat way that they do it with the kind of like crystallization. And then the zone is transforming all the time. So obviously massive open world. Probably going to have some updates if they can, keep the funding going and, develop a core base, a core audience, I should say. Then they talk about companions. I'm going to freeze it when I get to that screen. So base management. We've got the gunsmith where we can assign people, the quartermaster, the workshop, living quarters, planewalker technology, and looting and scavenging are locked. But it looks like we can assign allies to all of these things: an overseer, an assistant, and then tweaking the priority to, I guess, either be conservative, balanced, or aggressive. And then we've got kind of our companions here. It's a good list of companions. What is that? Almost 9. It's 8 companions. They've got different strengths and weaknesses. Pretty basic, right? It tells you what like their strength is. So you would imagine like, okay, this companion is going to be looting and scavenging. You're not going to use her for anything else. But I guess you could, as long as it's not plane walking technology. And then the base stuff is kind of cool, right? We're building some stuff here. Lower body armor station. I don't love that name. Like, come up with a better name than that. But I get it. Whatever. It's fine. It's a Kickstarter trailer. Alchemy lab table, medical lab table, upper body armor workshop. Cool. I like this stuff. It's neat. All right, let's see if we can get to the Kickstarter really quick, and let's see what they're trying to go for here. So they were trying to reach, what an interesting number, $97,564. They reached $118,000. That is awesome. First-person combat was achieved. All guns from the original Chernobyl Light is coming to this game. First-person weapon customization. They didn't get that far yet. Is it still going? 24 days to go. I think they'll probably get there, right? They're not that far off. Less than $10,000. yeah, I mean, I haven't seen a good Kickstarter game in quite a while. I love this plane walking thing, adapting on the fly. I think the base development could be fun, depending on how it works, right? If it's a massive open world and you can build your base anywhere, that's pretty cool. I like that concept. The factions will be fun. If, I think that was like we saw that narrative moment where it almost felt like a Bethesda game where you're talking to that like kind of undeadish looking dude and you had the different chat options in the bottom left. And then co-op missions. Ooh, look at that big thing. That's cool. Yeah. I mean, I don't know what to think of this other than like I really like the idea of trying to push this forward, and clearly they're looking to refine the game from where they were with the first one, and now they've got a Kickstarter that's already passed their goal with over 1,300 backers. So it's definitely not a bad look. It's a cool looking game. I think it's a little rough around the edges, obviously, but that's a Kickstarter trailer for you, right? Gonna keep an eye on this one. Definitely gonna keep an eye on this one. It's funny that the game looks pretty good already, and they're not asking for a lot of money, right? They're asking for, essentially $100,000, which is not a lot for a development studio. Usually big games, sink millions of dollars into their games. They're looking for $100K, which I think is interesting. Probably, the difference of like they probably made some money with Chernobyl Light, the first one. We're probably looking at how could they develop the second one. What was the gap? Did they have enough money from the first game, the sales of the first game, to get them there? And the answer is clearly no. Yeah, it's true, George. It's true. Sometimes you have to do a Kickstarter to gauge interest, right? It is a great way to do that. But you also have to deliver on your promises if you're doing a Kickstarter. And I think that's one of the challenges these guys are going to have to, kind of grapple with is the appetite there? Okay, it is. Now deliver on that. And we'll see how that goes. Because it could go a bunch of different ways. All right, guys, we got up to 36 for the night. I appreciate you guys for doing that. And if you have not checked it out, make sure you guys check out the second channel, Legacy Gaming Reacts. We've been posting videos there every day. I'll get you a link to that too, because I'd love to get to 100 subscribers there. We're posting those videos in the Discord every single day for the most part. And you'll notice it's videos from our stream. So here's the channel. If you guys have not subscribed to this yet, please do so. You don't have to watch every video because you're hanging out with us on stream, but obviously every subscriber counts at this point. As you can see, we don't have a lot of viewership, and that's okay. I'm totally cool with that. It's such an interesting thing, starting over with a channel, right? You're starting completely fresh, and I get it. I am not Tim the Tatman. I am not Nadeshot. I am not Asmongold. I'm not any of those guys. We got a long road ahead of us, but every stream, every video, every subscriber, every view really does matter, and I'm getting myself back into that frame of mind as we start this second channel. Having a lot of fun with it. Appreciate you guys for hanging out always. And like I said, if you're off tomorrow, relax, enjoy some time with the family, do what you got to do. Up here in New England, it's snowing like crazy, so I'm going to be outside hanging out with the kids, playing in the snow. It's going to be a lot of fun. And then, yeah, make sure you guys are posting some new videos in the subreddit, and we'll do this again next week. Hope you guys have a fantastic week, and we will see you next time. As always, my name is Cody Atkin from everyone here at Legacy Gaming. Thanks so much for watching. Play on. Take care, guys. Bye.
telling me you